This 10-minute video will give you a snapshot into a value stream map workshop. We have captured vignettes of an actual lean event, and you will hear 5 participant stories captured during their workshop week. A value stream map workshop is a multi-day event. In this case, it was 5 days, but we typically run them somewhere between 3 to 5 consecutive days. The participants are the people who do the work. They are considered the subject matter experts, and wherever possible, we seek statewide representation from the staff who are part of the process. The group size varies, sometimes as little as 5 to 7 people and upwards to 30+ people. Participants will receive training on lean principles and are guided by a charter outlining the project scope and boundaries. The 3 products that are created by the participants is a current state map which visually describes the high-level steps of how the work is currently done, a future state map which shows how the work would be done after improvements are made, and an action plan that outlines the necessary activities to support the change from current state to future state. This is a highly collaborative and interactive workshop requiring group participation. The entire workshop is supported by trained facilitators. A key component of the workshop is that the participants own the product they produce. The participants implement the action plan. Ideally, the improvements will be completed within 90 days, and it is important that the participants understand they are committed beyond the workshop at least 90 days following. Here is what participants had to say about their week ahead.
To hear other people, really, quite frankly, from other regions, other parts of the state, think of, or talk about their process, because certainly we all share the same policy, but we all probably go about doing it a little bit differently. And so having all 3 regions and a tremendous amount of experience from each region, I'm excited about hearing how they do it and learning hopefully more efficient and better ways to do it from them too.
I'm not real thrilled about taking a whole week off of work to come down here and do this, but hey, if we can use this for intake and get some kind of a idea of how we can make it more efficient and work better for us and also for the consumers, I'm all for it.
I'm excited about this week. I am all for eliminating waste, the idea of streamlining processes and getting things done faster and without unnecessary steps. I also hope that we will come up with more consistency statewide, because with 3 regions, even though we have similar systems in place, there are very different ways of doing things.
I guess one thing I won't say a worry, but just kind of looking at how this process is going to go over the next few days. Just kind of seeing if this is we're just kind of going in circles, going through the motions. Hopefully that's not the case. And it's like you said, 5 days is a long time to be away from family, number 1, away from your work, number 2.
On Friday, I thought, why did I ever think this would be a good idea to leave my caseload for a week? So then I thought, well, if I do this for a week, then I'll know A, if it really works, and B, if it's something I want to continue putting energy into.
In the first 2 days, you will complete the current state map.
At first I came in and I was sort of skeptical, and I still have a little bit of skepticism because we're using this process to describe intake, and I'm a little concerned about, we can move an intake through faster, but we haven't really touched on the quality of it.
It's pretty nitty-gritty. It's less kind of big picture philosophical than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of language that's specific to this process, and the facilitators speak to each other in that language, and you catch on a little bit as things are, as the days are going on, but it's a little disorienting in the beginning.
All the notes and all the information that's being jotted down, is that going to be compiled somewhere where someone's going to be able to process through? Whereas, we can go back and, and follow up later and say, okay, well, this happened this week. These were some of the suggestions. These were some of the things that possibly can or may be implemented, then what happens next, where's the what happens next part.
The facilitators will guide the group through a process of analyzing the map. The group is encouraged to ask why and challenge the status quo. The participants make recommendations to their peers in the room for improvements to their process. The lean process captures all participants' improvement ideas.
I have faith that we are a group of people. It's not just me, so just because I can't think of one thing, or how to improve this process, somebody else is probably going to have a good idea for that.
When I stepped back and I looked at where everybody had put in the red dots, which indicates the waste, I just kind of did a cursory scan of it. I didn't look at it in great detail, but it looked like people had been paying attention, and I was in agreement with most of those red dots. And so from my perspective, it sounds like it's going to be beneficial.
After the current state and improvement ideas are recorded, the participants will organize and discuss the merits of the improvements based upon criteria of difficulty and impact. Together, they decide which improvement ideas shall become action items to be implemented within the next 90 days. After this decision, the group may redraw the process map reflecting all improvements, which we call the future state map.
I like the fact that we were able to develop a plan here and now, identify things for implementation and things to do later, and do it right there with our participation and right in the moment. And it's not that they're going to get our participation and then put this together and send it out to us later, because you lose momentum, but instead it worked really well because they're doing it as we're talking about it, and so there's buy-in.
It was difficult to come to the agreement that we came to share some of the best practices. Everybody had to drop a little bit of their own idea of what is the right way to do it, and everybody got to contribute some of their own idea of what was the right way to do it. But that's difficult for people to do, to let go. So when we all kind of got together and decided to try the new streamlined hybrid process, I thought that was actual progress.
I think also creating new partnerships and new open lines of communication, and gaining new strategies and tools for the tool belt from other people, other program managers, other supervisors, other staff, but just a variety of different people from all the different regions, and kind of being able to utilize those and looking at what's working for them and how I can take that back to people I deal with, and give those people give my people those tools to add to their tool belt to help them do what they do better.
I don't think the three regions knew what the other regions were doing in terms of the specific detail that we went over this last week. So just knowing what the other folks are doing across the state is really, really beneficial. When we talk about how we did it before, and then we talk about what it's going to look like now. And I think whoever's in the audience, and they're going to be able to see the difference, it's a pretty amazing difference. It's much leaner. There's a lot of waste that we got rid of.
The final step of your VSM week is a report-out session to the sponsor. This involves the participants presenting the current state map, the action plan, the future state, and any other relevant information that was used to inform the week's work. The report out provides the sponsor and other audience members an opportunity to ask questions and provide immediate feedback to the participants. Barring any significant obstacles, the participants leave their VSM ready to implement their action plan in the next 90 days. We hope this video offers you a glimpse into the VSM process and will prepare you for your next VSM event.